I'm David Kincaid. I'm a vault dweller from Vault 76. I had the idea of making these holotapes when I found the ones in Morgantown from the responders. They're not around anymore, but they're still telling their stories. They're still helping people. Figured not be such a bad idea to leave some of these behind. Help people. Worst case scenario, they find out what the world was like. Hopefully the world you're coming from is a lot better than the one I'm living in. But if you find this tape in the hands of a blue-suited skeleton, well, listen to it and don't do what I did. So, to begin with, 25 years ago, I entered the vault with my family. I was 11 then. We watched the bombs fall, the door seal. I grew up in there. It was easier on me than some of the others. I hadn't lived my entire life out here. Took the GOAT test. They decided that I was a good candidate for a Vault Tec engineer. Learned a lot, read a lot. Tried to learn everything I could so when I walked out into this world, I could take it with me. A lot of people learn skills, but I realized that the only thing that's going to set us apart from the people out here is a pit boy in a camp. I was the only edge we had. In fact, they had been learning skills to survive out here for 25 years. No way that we could ever compete with that. They knew what the world was like. We didn't. My family passed a few years ago. Probably for the best. This entire world is so different. It's both yet dead from the old world, and yet a new world has sprung from it. New creatures, new monsters, everything. Well, I guess I should get to it. So, let's go to where it all began. Hello there, I'm Forge Tech, and this is the first episode of Rust Tech. Now, a lot of times I build different things from different factions, and I've really enjoyed doing that. But at the same time, it's very restrictive, since a lot of the equipment you just can't use from all the different factions. So I wanted to take a roleplay character, and as he grew by playing through the game, his style would change, his campus would evolve, he would find new tech, and be able to create new stories. And hopefully you'll enjoy this, and if you do, like, subscribe, and hit that notify button so that you don't miss the next episode. And with that, let's begin the story again. I wasn't one of the first people out of the vault. That was the security people and a few of the more militant ones. They fought off some sort of small robot that later on we found out was speaking Mandarin. Not sure what they were still doing around after 25 years. Tried to scavenge what I could from them. Discovered they had a small laser in them. Figured I might be able to make a weapon out of it. The security didn't trust us with weapons. Don't know what they really thought we were going to do. Maybe keep ourselves in the vault. But figured anything could help. I decided to stay up in the hills where everyone else started to head back down. First night I found a camp. Thought maybe I'd find some people. Turned out I just found 2 bodies. Horribly burned, and later on I found out they were called ghouls. Don't know if they're the owners of the camp. Don't know if they scared them off. To this day I don't know. But you learn that about the wasteland. A lot of people just go missing. I got here and it looked like a quickly set up camp. Overlooking Morgantown area. With sandbags and barricades, looked like they were making sure nothing was coming from that direction. Even set up an old scarecrow, I guess, to see if it would draw fire in the night. Didn't look like they were planning on staying. Had taken apart some cars and had some hay there, so I assumed they had a Brahmin or 2. Used the pieces of cars as wagons. Had a lot of stuff packed up. Some made sense, some didn't. maybe had value. Don't know. But that first night, I buried the two ghouls. Don't know if they were intelligent or ferals, but figured they deserved that. I stayed. It's been a long time since I'd seen the stars. Sure, we got places in the vault that kind of simulate it, but it's not the same. It's just, you just can't get that. Didn't know how lucky I was that first night. I had set out early the next morning, but spent my time exploring and figuring out some stuff in the woods. Figuring out if anything was edible or looked the same. I managed to reach Morgantown by nightfall. Looked like a lot of the vault dwellers that headed that way. Thought maybe some people were there. Apparently, until only recently, a group called the Responders ran this area. It was good to know that people had survived, but apparently they had been wiped out by creatures called the Scorch. Other dwellers ran into them later on. Some made it, some didn't. Some got sick and, well, you know what the Scorch are, you know what happens next there. I decided to stay at the lodge. Looked like some of the rooms were still decent. It was weird seeing all the world. Even though a lot of the areas hadn't taken a direct hit from the nukes. So much had changed. The world had just decayed. The storms and the radiation and the fallout had done so much damage, and time had done worse. I was able to see the New River Gorge from where I was standing. Just rusting up there. It's weird to have looked at it. Drove across it when I was young. Looks so massive, like spanned the earth, but I guess things are bigger when you're a kid. I decided to look around, find some clothes. Figured looking around like a giant blue guy in the middle of a green forest wasn't the best of plans. Made me stand out a bit too much. Next morning I set out. I'd managed to find some serviceable clothes and set myself up. I'd even found some, I guess you'd call it old armor that someone had made out of leather. Figured better than walking around in just a blue jumpsuit. Headed towards the center of town now that it was daybreak. But as I saw different people that just laying there dead, some had been killed by violence, others looked like they had changed into some sort of blackened charcoal. I knew that these places weren't safe. I'd have to make a place of my own. I couldn't afford to sleep out there in the night. I fought off a creature that I later knew was a mole rat. I'd used the laser I'd found with some fusion cells to kill it. Realized that I was not a very good shot. So, I was glad I had read the entire manual for the Hit Boy. Like I said, I realized that was the only way I was going to get out of this. It had a weird feature called VATS. It would help me aim, and I figured why not use it the best way I could. So, I decided to start learning how to use it while salvaging anything I saw that was useful. Went to the church. Found an old Protectron in there, still selling things. Told me that the Vault Overseer later had come this way. Made me wonder where she had went. After everything, I headed out of town. Took a few days, but I found a place that I felt that I could make into a base. It was close to water. It was north of Morgantown, and that was important since the Scorch at the time had come from the south. I wondered what had happened to the other vault dwellers. A lot of them I hadn't seen in a few days. There were some good people, there were some strange people. There was one guy that used to always in the vault weird me out. He'd just sit there staring at you from the corner. I know what you're thinking, that's not so weird. Yet he wore a giant bear hat at all times. I've no clue what happened to him. The weirdest things in this world that you think of. The wild wasteland out there. But with that, I think this holotape's coming to the end. Hopefully I'll be around for the next one. And with that, I hope y'all have a good day.